Well, multiple bad news if you are an Australian cricket fan because Australian skipper Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood, Mitchell Marsh, all three in fact have been ruled out of the Champions Trophy that's going to begin on February 19th. It is turning out to be massive blows for the Australian cricket setup here because Pat Cummins once again had to be one of Australia's crucial members of this Champions Trophy, but then he has been ruled out of the tournament due to an ankle injury that he had been managing in the recently concluded Border Gavaskar Trophy also. And now the Australian chief selector George Bailey, also their former captain, has confirmed that Cummins will miss the 8-team tournament that's going to begin on February 19th in Pakistan and in Dubai, because India's matches are going to take place in Dubai there. And as far as Josh Hazlewood is concerned, well, he has now developed a hip problem, and that's why he will miss the Champions Trophy. Well, earlier, as far as Josh Hazlewood goes, he also suffered from a calf issue during the Border Gavaskar Trophy, had missed a couple of test matches there, and now, in fact, he has now developed a hip problem that had ruled him out of the Sri Lankan test matches also, and he not be fit in time for the Champions Trophy. Same is the case with Mitchell Marsh. He had suffered a back injury after playing just one match of the Big Bash League for Perth Scorchers, and now he will also miss the 8-team tournament. And as far as Marcus Stoinis goes, well, he has retired from ODI cricket on the eve of Champions Trophy, and now what this means is that Australia will have to look for as many as 4 replacements for their 15-member squad that's going to tour Pakistan for the CT. So in case you have just joined us, well, 4 big blows as far as the Australian cricket team goes. They have lost their skipper Pat Cummins for the Champions Trophy. It was reported earlier, in fact yesterday, that Pat Cummins is heavily unlikely for the Champions Trophy, and that's what the chief selector George Bailey has just confirmed, that Cummins will take no part in Champions Trophy. So it's going to be the case with Josh Hazlewood. There's no Mitchell Marsh also, which means Australia have lost an all-rounder and a top order batter, and also there's going to be no Marcus Stoinis because he has retired from ODI cricket. So a couple of things to discuss here before we take your leave here. Number one, Australia will need a new opening pair now. In fact, they'll need a couple of new opening batters. So we talk about Travis Head. He's going to be the incumbent opener, but who opens with him in the Champions Trophy? Well, there are going to be plenty of options. It could be Josh Inglis also. It could be the return of Alex Carey at the top of the order, or at the very same time, Australia can think of having someone like a Jake Fraser-McGurk, but that remains to be seen because Mitchell Marsh is not fit. He is out of CT, so Australia will need multiple options there. It could be Josh English, it could be Alex Carey, it could be Jake Fraser-McGurk. Secondly, who do Australia have as Mitchell Stark's pace bowling partners? Could there be a return of a Sean Abbott? Or could there be, a couple of new faces? There could be a Spencer Johnson for that matter. Xavier Bartlett, who impressed in the ODIs against West Indies in 2024. So Australia have multiple things to ponder, but then the 2 likely names that basically come to my mind here who can replace both Cummins and Hazlewood in the Champions Trophy squad are Xavier Bartlett and Spencer Johnson. Luckily, they have Adam Zampa, who will obviously shoulder the spin bowling duties here. Sachin Kashyap has a comment that it could be Matthew Short opening the batting. It could very well be. They do have multiple options, but then nothing is confirmed as to who will, open the batting. But then what Marcus Stoinis' retirement also means that there is a lot of pressure on Glenn Maxwell. Not only will he have to take responsibility of the middle order batting, but then he'll also have to make sure that he bowls those useful overs, something that Stoinis gave a lot to Australian ODI team when he was a part of their setup. So that's about it as far as the latest updates regarding the Australian cricket is concerned. 4 major players obviously not being... Yeah, please. Harshit has a question.
Yeah. So in all of this, does responsibility now increase on somebody like an Aaron Hardy?
I think it could be because he is obviously a pace bowling all-rounder. He's more of a batting all-rounder. But then I think Australia will explore their options here. With this, basically the question that Darshit has asked me, that will it increase any responsibility on someone like Aaron Hardy? He's still very new to international cricket, has done wonders in the Big Bash League. But then it remains to be seen whether he's going to be a consistent part of the ODI 11 or not. I think it'll basically mean that there'll be more responsibility on Glenn Maxwell for that matter. And in case of I think because he's going to be the specialist all-rounder. But then apart from him, it could be Bo Webster also, because Australia are yet to name those replacements. But the bigger worry for Australia is that who will they have as Mitchell Stark's, bowling partners? The last thing that Australia can would really want is that Mitchell Stark to get injured at the very last moment. So that's about it as far as this.
Last thing even I'd want as a DC fan.
Yeah, absolutely. But any which ways, DC are not really going to do well in the IPL. That's a bold prediction. You heard it here. So yeah, Mitchell Owen could be in. Sachin Kashyap has another comment. But Kanish Sehra, last comment before we wrap up. Bartlett, Spencer, Renshaw, Webster will be replacements. Not really sure if Renshaw will make the cut for the ODIs, for the ODI team. He's yet to play an ODI, although has done well in Big Bash League and for his state side in the Sheffield Shield and the ODI Cup. But then it's not really sure whether he would make it. But then stay tuned to Sports Today as we'll bring you all the latest updates and analysis from the sporting world. And obviously, when Australia name those replacements, we will be back live for it. And obviously, for the India versus England opening ODI.